Hey, welcome back everyone, it's DV, and in this video I'm going to show you how to do a couple of different still farm builds that use the randomizers. So if you haven't seen the randomizer yet, I'm going to show you what it's all about, and then we're going to dive into the builds. Before I begin, if you don't mind hitting that like button and subscribe if you're new, that'd be awesome. Let's jump down over here and I'm going to show you what this randomizer is all about. So you can see here, I've actually got a bunch of these. I have like, how many do I have left? I have 25 left of these. So they're not cheap. They're not cheap to make. So you might not be able to use these quite yet, but you can look forward to being able to use them later once you have the materials. So it does require one buffalo core crystal, and a lot of people are going to be freaking out about that because these are a little bit expensive to get. They are rare, so you get them from the buffalo core by killing buffalo core, and those can be found on buffalo core island. I can't remember what the odds are. I think it's like 1 in 100 or something like that, but these are going for anywhere between 500,000 to $1 million. The reason why I give such a wide range is because they were before this update, they were worth only 500,000, and a little bit before that they were worth like 900,000, so they kind of fluctuate a little bit. But because everyone's going to be trying to make these randomizers, I think these are going to go up in price. So you probably want to grind this yourself and just kill a bunch of buffalo core and you'll eventually get one. It might take you a little while, but hopefully it won't take you too long. So you do need a buffalo core crystal. You'll need 3 steel rods and 5 iron. So this part's not so bad, this part is. So you're going to need a bunch of those. So now how it works is I'm going to plant one down for you here. So there it is right there. So you can see the arrows, right? So you can see these arrows. This is the input. So it goes in and then it randomizes inside. It's like a 50-50 chance, right? So it's just a chance. You might see that stuff goes through sometimes, like 2 of them will come through on the right side. So it's not every other. So it's just all based on percentages, based on just random. It's all RNG. And so I'll drop some of these and you can see like sometimes they come out. So you can see I got 3 over here, only 1 right there. So I did actually design a couple different builds. And the reason why I did 2 of them for you is there's different types, right? If you're one of those players that get easily confused when it comes to factory builds and stuff, I made a factory just for you. I made one that's really easy for you to understand. And then if you are the type of player that wants to squeeze every bit of ounce of production out of your builds, and you don't mind spending a little extra time on your build, I've got a build for you. It's a little bit more complicated, but I've got a diagram that you can follow. So you won't have to like worry about like, wait, I got to rewind to count blocks, right? No, I've got a pixel grid for you that I can show you. So you can actually copy the pixel design, and I'm actually going to include an image of that in the description of this video so you can access that anytime. So you don't have to like sit here in the video and watch over and over and over, because I know how frustrating that would be. So you can actually reference that anytime. And I'm going to go ahead and start. I'm just going to show the builds at first, and then I'm going to show you how to build one yourself. And then after that, I'm actually going to show you how to layer them. So if you want to layer one or the other. So let's jump into this. So first I'm going to start with the easy build. The easy build is not the most efficient, let me tell you. So you can see here, I've got my iron totems going, and we've got a single smelter here. So this single smelter is powering 4 different steel mills. Because these randomizers are not guaranteed to go 50-50, it's kind of random, and sometimes at some point you're going to start losing efficiency, and I'll explain that in a moment. But you got this smelter here, and then we use a splitter here. So basically a randomizer here, and it goes to this guy. And I actually use input-output chests because the problem is these are actually 6x4, right? So these are 6x4. You can't see the invisible colliders here, but I can't build very close to this. So this right here is the closest I can get between 2 steel mills. This is as close as you can get them. And so because of that, I don't want to have like open conveyors here. If they're just hanging out like on conveyors the entire time all the way through, there's a chance for them to despawn. So by letting them sit in here, it resets the timer for despawn, right? And there's less items out at a time. But you can see here, I've got 4 of them here. I've got a coal totem powering each of these. And I was actually load balancing these coal totems, but it just didn't work out. The randomizers were stealing coal from other steel mills. So I would actually highly recommend, even though it costs a little extra, just keep the dedicated coal totems because it's not worth the risk. So over here, they exit, right? So you can see the exit, and then they just come down into the stairs, and then they go in here. So this one's not as efficient as the other one I'm going to show you in a minute, but this is the most simple to scale, because you can see all you got to do for scaling this is you can just stack and stack and stack. All you got to do is layer this over and over, and then everything's just going to drop into this, and you're good to go. So this is not a surprising build at all. So I want to explain why this isn't efficient, and a lot of you actually probably already caught it. Here's the problem. When you first hit this first splitter right here, there's a 50-50 chance, right? You're basically saying 50% of all my iron is going to go here, and the other 50% is going to come over here. So half of my iron is going to this single unit, right? And the other half's going to come through here, and then I got to share another 50-50 here, right? So if you split 50 in half of 50% is 25%, right? So 25% of all of my iron is now coming to this one, and 25% is coming to this one, right? So now once we hit this one, I got to split that 25 in half again. You know what that means? 12.5% chance, right? 12.5% chance that it's going to go to this one or this one. So it really dwindles in efficiency. Why would I want 50% of all my iron to go to one single steel mill? And that's why what you need to do is something a little bit closer to a design like this thing over here. This is the most efficient design that I've been able to find. And layout wise, it's pretty consistent. You can see they're spaced between each other pretty well. And so how this one works is we got a splitter, right? So 50% are going to come here, 50% are going to go over here. And so what happens here? 25%, 25%, right? Once if you have to split 50%, you got 25% come over here, 25% are going to come over here. And then over here, if you do the other 50% that came through this side, you got 25% right here and 25% right here. So this is actually evenly distributed across every single steel mill here. I'm not favoring one over the other. So this one's actually really efficient. I actually have input output chests. You don't have to do it this way. You can do it any other traditional way. So you can basically put stairs that all connect down. I actually like this though. So if you actually can afford it, and input output chests, if you can afford this build alone, you could probably afford input output chests, but you can see it actually just shortens the distance for the drop. Otherwise, what you could do is instead of an input output chest, just make your stairs longer and just make it go all the way down. So like instead of this, you could do stairs that go all the way down here. So again, this one's actually going to be a little confusing for you if you don't know how to do factory builds very well. But I will tell you, this is the most efficient one I've had, and it's given me consistent and reliable numbers. So I'll show you right here. I actually set these up at the same time. So let's see, how much does this one have? So this one has 60, 90. So this one has 175 exactly in it right now. So let's go over to this one and count how many they have. So that one was 175. Look at this one has 90, 120, 143. So you can see this other one's actually not losing iron, whereas this one's losing iron because sometimes the randomizer will not hit one of these, right? So what's happening here, like I said, this one's getting 50%, this one's getting 25%, this one's getting 12%, and this one's getting 12%, right? So these two are getting 12% because there's a final splitter. But it is a lot easier for you to follow. And let me tell you, if you're like, DV, I can't even afford a single randomizer. Well, check out my other steel mill load balanced video. I do actually have a design that does not require any of these load balancers, and you could just use maple bushes. So you could just use maple bushes to balance. But I'm going to go show you a diagram now so you can kind of understand visually what I'm talking about here. So you can see here, I've got the easy scale version. This is the one I was showing you at first, right? So right here, you can see these like purple things would be conveyors. So these are my conveyors that my iron is hooked up to. So all my iron totems and my coal totem, and this is the smelter. And then we connect to a T or a randomizer. We got another conveyor here that is hooked up to a coal totem. This is the steel mill right here. And this is the exit of the steel mill. So this drops down into the stairs. You can see here, it gets 50%, right? It gets 50%. Then it comes through here. The other 50% comes through here, right? But the problem is as soon as it gets to here, that 50% now needs to split in half again. One side of that is going to be 25% this way. The other 25% is going to be shared over here. And then so the 25% heads over here. And then on this side here, you got to split that 25% again in half between two different steel mills here. So this is the diagram again that you can actually use to reference on how to do the same build. And then this right here is the optimal build. And again, you can see it's got conveyors here. Then we got the randomizer or splitter here. The green here is actually input output chest, by the way. So you can see here, here's the reference in and out chest. So this is an input output chest. And then you can see here, I've got conveyors. And then so this right here splits in half, right? So you go from this, so it goes to 50%, 50%. And then these get to share 25% between each other. And then these get to share 25% with each other as well. And what they do is they drop right here, drop right there, and then they drop, right? It's actually pretty easy to understand this layout. I've tried all these like zigzaggy ones too. But what I really desired was to have consistent lines with my exits, right? So I wanted these lined up nicely. And I didn't want to have to go left. It feels like it's just cleaner and easier to understand if you just kind of stay to the right in this case, because the way they're set up is the right angle, right? So I'm actually going to show you how to build these real quick. So starting with this design, the easiest design, what you're going to do is you're going to take 3 conveyors like this. You're going to put your smelter right there. You're going to put a randomizer right here. You're going to get a straight conveyor right here. You're going to hook up your first steel mill. And then you're going to put an input output chest. This just gives it some space so things don't despawn. You're going to put another randomizer right there. And then you're going to do another space with conveyor. This is just for our totem. And then you're going to do that again. And then you can keep going. Obviously, this repeats all the way to the end. And the very last one's pretty simple. Basically, instead of putting a splitter like this, you're just going to do something like this. So you're going to put a right side here. And then you're going to put a straight right here. And then the last one, it's not spaced the same way as everything else. It's a little closer. It'll be like that. Actually, it's a little deeper. It's a little deeper. Sorry. There we go. It's like that because you have to have the extra conveyor. And again, you're going to put the totems down and all that. So you're going to put like a coal totem here. And at the very end, I'm not going to show you how to do this because we've done it a million times in all my build videos. But you're just going to put stairs and you're going to build stairs all the way down to the center. And then I just put this at the bottom. All right. So next, I'm going to show you how to build this other one. It's a little bit trickier. I'm going to get this stuff out of the way. Just follow along in my pixel guide because the pixel guide will help you a ton. So we're going to go and do this. So we're going to start on this side because everything kind of goes to the right with this design. You're going to do 3 conveyors. You're going to put your smelter out, right? And then you are going to put your randomizer right there. And then we're going to put 3, again, just follow my pixel guide. You're going to put 3 conveyors right there. And then you're going to put an input output chest like that. You're going to go 2 conveyors. And then there's going to be a right turn right here like that. You're going to put another input output chest right here. And then you're going to put another randomizer right here. And we're going to go and connect, just for the sake of sanity, we're going to go and connect these steel mills now so you can kind of visualize what's going on here. And then we're going to put 2 more conveyors right here. And then another one of these. So you can see how that's going so far. And then over here, right after your input output chest, you're going to put another randomizer. This is our final randomizer. You're going to put another conveyor right there. You're going to set up the steel mill right there. And then we got 2 more conveyors coming up like that, and then steel mill. So you can see it's just like the other template. It's just like it. You're going to put totems down, typical place, right? You're going to put 6 iron right here, and then you're going to put the coal at the very end here, just like this. See what that looks like? Just like that. And then that's going to pretty much power everything. So don't get intimidated by this. You can actually do however you want to pipe these together, you can do that. You might have to use stairs if you need to, but whatever you want to do down here, don't get confused by my input output chest. It's just, I liked this format better. So now let's go ahead and start layering this up. Okay. So I'm going to take this all down and I'm actually going to show you how to layer 1 layer on top of each of these designs. And hopefully you'll make a ton of steel from this. So right now it takes about 20 seconds per steel ingot to be completed. Right? So that's a machine limitation. So you can't make these go any faster. So you're limited to 20 seconds, 20 seconds, 20 seconds, 20 seconds. That means the best I could do is 1 steel ingot every 5 seconds. And I've actually timed it, and that's what I'm getting on this right now. And that's why we only need 1 smelter. What we're really trying to squeeze out of this at this point is the despawn. What we want to be able to do is do as many of these as possible without hitting a despawn limit. Now, they did actually increase the despawn limit by double. It used to be, I think it was like 100 entities out at a time. And so that means we can get almost, I'm guessing about 200 entities at a time. So let's go ahead and start layering this. So first thing we're going to do is we just need to make sure we measure enough space here. So that is the next layer. And so what we need to do is basically the same path. So we're just going to basically draw the same path in a second here. So I'm just going to carry this across here just for the ease of navigation. And that's working out pretty well. Copy the path, basically. That's all you got to do. Just copy the same path as what's under us. And this should not take you very long to do. There we go. There we go. So again, I just copied the paths, right? So it's the same path as the bottom one. And what I always recommend whenever you're doing builds, definitely use a start flag because you're going to be falling a lot and it's just going to save you a bunch of pain. So next time I fall like this, I'm back to where I was. Okay, so let's go ahead and get these conveyors in like this. So we're just going to copy what we did on the bottom. So again, 3, then smelter. And I can actually copy the diagram that I'm looking at now so I don't have to worry about any of this stuff. So we're going to do a splitter. So we're going to act like we're basically doing the bottom layer, right? The same stuff as what we did already. And then we're going to do an input output chest. We're going to do our conveyors. We're going to make our right turn here. There we go. And then we're going to do our next input output like that. Then we're going to do our splitter like that. I'm so happy we got rotate now. And then we're going to put a conveyor there, right there. We're going to put a steel mill there. And then our next steel mill is going to basically go above the one beneath us. Little helper there. We'll put a totem here later. There's that. And we need 1 conveyor there. We're going to put our steel mill again, so it's directly above it. And this one's directly above this one. Then we're going to conveyor over as well. So there we go. We're matching identical to what's beneath us. You see that? Looks good. See, it's going to drop here. It's going to drop the same location, but it might bounce a bit. So we're going to just bring this up just in case it wants to bounce out. Because the higher you go, the more likely it's going to try to bounce out, right? So let's go ahead and just make sure we correctly pipe this up. There we go. Something like that's fine. Same thing for this. Let's put this on the sides. You'll want to block that as well, like that. There we go. And this one's pretty straightforward. It's just going to drop straight down there. There we go. And then this side, same thing. You're just going to pipe this up. And I'll just stay down here this time. It's a little easier. And there we go. So now let's go ahead and fire it up. Let's get our totems out, and you'll be able to see our layer design here. Just go place all these little extras for our totems. You can put them anywhere. As long as it's on one of the conveyors, you're good. It's just got to connect to a conveyor. Doesn't matter where you want to put it. And there, that one. All right, those are all good. And then let's do our iron. There's our iron, pretty set. So I'm gonna go and start putting some iron in. There we go. So what I would recommend is to fill up these chests. There is a way you can do it. You could just basically put, fill it up with iron at first. So just your first slot here, like this. And then the rest can be grass. So you can actually do that as long as the first one's full. And then you can do the same here. So you just fill up the first one. There you go. Now it's all fired up. They're all working. And once they're done, they're just going to drop right into here. It's actually really easy to scale this, to be honest. I thought that was going to be harder. It's really easy to scale it. Now I'm going to go show you how to do another level for this one over here. So it's actually going to be really easy as well. So we're just going to kind of build up to until the point we can actually get over these totems. So 5 blocks, and then you're going to go across here. So we're basically going to do the same thing. We're just going to copy the same path. So we're going to go straight across. We're going to go this way. So now we can go and start building. So we're going to get our conveyors out. I need to get a pickaxe because I kind of messed up a little bit. All right, let's get our conveyors right there. Put our smelter down. And then what we're going to do first is obviously our splitter. I'm going to go ahead and grab, there's our randomizer. Put it right there. We're going to put another one right here. We can just kind of pre-place them because we already know where they're going to go. And then we can put this one right here, that right there. So we can just kind of get ahead of ourselves a little bit, because we know we're just copying the bottom layer. It's so much easier to scale when you know what's beneath it, So we can just kind of pre-place stuff. Put our input-output chests out. There's that one. All right, so we're all set here for our next build. That's it. That's how fast that is. And so let's go ahead and put our totems out and fire it up again. So much faster to build this one than the other one, but the other one's actually really, really easy. So I wouldn't get intimidated by that. Once you've done it once, it's really easy to scale. I mean, this is so much easier than some of the other builds I've ever done. Like, the washers are so painful, but we don't have that issue on these. Let's get our totems. Just place all our coals out. And I always put the coal at the very end. And then let's place our iron, kind of seed it with a little bit, kind of kickstart it. And the one thing you'll have to check, obviously, is at the very end here when they're dropping off. If they're bouncing out a lot, just make the walls taller. Yeah, it looks like some of it might have fallen out. We just need to make this a little taller. That way stuff doesn't fall out. So that is your randomizer build. So you can actually choose one or the other. So this is a nice one. This looks really clean. Visually, it's very nice. It's, it's sleek. It's easy to expand. It's not confusing. Like I said, it's just simple. The problem is, again, because you're losing efficiency the further you go, right? So again, 50% here, it goes 25%, and then it goes 12%, 12%. So that's a big problem. And whereas this other design, it's actually the most efficient one we've got. So, and it's actually really easy to work with. And you can see, I mean, it's working really, really well. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit that like button and smash the subscribe button if you're new. And I will see you all tomorrow for another Roblox video. Take it easy.